I am making this video because I'm getting a lot of calls and questions about the voltage output of this device. And I don't know where this started, but I would say in the past year and for sure the past 6 months, I've had a lot of questions about it. And I've looked into purchasing something that measures the voltage and haven't been able to find anything that measures voltage output. My technicians say it needs to have a positive and negative to measure, but plasma is quasi-neutral, can be forced out of neutrality in a lab, but this plasma is in a neutral state, and I don't know how. If you can tell me how to measure it, please do. If there's people out there that are making claims about their devices, I'd like to know how they got that measurement, because I've found nothing to measure it. And in my opinion, it's irrelevant. I've been working with these devices for 5 or 6 years. It's never occurred to me. I know that the induction coil in the handle is changing the AC current to low amperage, high voltage through some sort of vortex mechanism that Tesla channeled, which is basically in the anatomy of a vortex, a black hole, and a wormhole. And this is a particle collider, and that's how it makes the ozone, smashing oxygen particles together. And there's a way to use it for healing that's proper, and more isn't better. I used to think that in the beginning. I used to tell people to turn it all the way up, and there are times when you just want to raise the voltage as part of the therapy, but it isn't the therapy. As long as it throws a spark, you're doing good, and I'll make another video in the dark to show you the spark. You won't probably be able to see the plasma in the daylight here, but I just wanted you to be able to see the wand in my setup. So I'm going to turn it on. I've got a place on my knee here that gives me some problems. And you can't see it. If you could see it, you would see the filament flickering. I think it's interfering with the camera. I can see the camera's getting fuzzy from the cosmic rays. So we'll see what happens as I turn it up. But there's a place where the plasma is going to connect with you on a really deep level. And the highest point is rarely it. Sometimes it might carry up into there. You can hear it better when it's not on the fabric. Feel that noise and distortion. You can see the light more now. It's getting brighter. But if I turn it up higher, the light will actually get dimmer in most cases, unless this connection carries up into that. That was actually down. So still doing a little bit of a woodpecker thing, still hammering through some density in my knee. Okay, it stopped at that point. If it were dark, you'd be able to see the light. There, I turned it down, it came back. So I'm continuing to turn it down. That's why it's so good to have this intensity knob right at the bottom of your device. Can we go back up? Oh, that's down. I'm using my left hand. I usually use my right. So there it stopped again. So I wanted to show you in the daylight what's going on and why I believe the voltage output is irrelevant and why I get so annoyed when people try to tell me the older machines are better. You will never get this kind of audio feedback from a vintage machine. And maybe I'll turn my vintage machine on later too to show you how loud just the coil is. When I take this off of my skin, it's practically silent. This is an advanced technology solid-state device. The only reason you are hearing a sound is because there is a song happening between this plasma and my body. An arc is forming that is bidirectional. None of this is approved by the FDA, but I channel this technology and I understand it maybe on a deeper level than anyone else. And I know that it's not for everyone. Especially if you think you need the highest voltage output on your device. So I will come back and do this at night and show you the visual on how that plasma lights up and glows and dances and flickers. Alright, blessings. So, now it's dark, and I want to show you the wand on the sweet spot when it's dark. Also the finger technique, when you want to put it on you without sparking, or someone you're working on. Most of the plasma goes into your finger, so it doesn't spark. Anyway, this is my knee issue, and you hear that woodpecker sound? Doing some deep work. So this is the sweet spot. Just want to really demonstrate this so people understand that when you use the violet ray, or at least the 0-point zap violet ray, this is what you're looking for. A little there. But I'm hearing there's layers and layers and layers and layers of work that's happening on a quantum level when you use this thing. But just keep looking for that sweet spot, keep playing with the dial. I'm constantly over here with my hand on this dial. So anyway, that's my knee session for the day. Feeling it down the bottom of my foot, down in my toes. Hasn't really been bothering me, but just looking for an easy thing to film to demonstrate this. Because a lot of people are asking me about voltage output. Oh, I was going to show a spark. So that's a spark. That's what you want to look for. The wand will not throw a spark. Got a very bad wand. We can make a bigger spark with a metal tip, but then it would also be thinner, sharper. But this is a decent spark. Okay, so I want to do a similar demonstration with a vintage unit as I did with the ZP Zap wand. So I have this kit from the turn of the century, which is a pretty nice kit. I haven't had to replace anything except for this wiring. It was pretty frayed. This is original wiring. It's so beautiful. I didn't want to replace it, but if you touch it while this thing is on, you'll get shocked. And this is before it hits the induction coil, so this isn't high voltage. This is high amperage. So you don't want to interact with that too much. And they're not grounded. I could make this grounded, but I did replace this because it had European plug. This tube is very similar to the one I was using. These are kind of rare, and on these units they're super strong and sharp. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. You're not supposed to leave these plugged in because the minute you plug it in, the coil starts heating up. And usually you can hear that one, but... So we do have power. I don't want to turn this up too much, so I don't want to hurt my knee. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it up to a certain point. So if you just put it on there really fast, it won't zap you. I'll try to demonstrate that again. So I'm looking for the sweet spot in the same spot. And you can hear how loud the coil itself is in there, and then there's another coil in the handle. I'm not sure how that works. Some kind of relay or something. It's hard for me to adjust the dial. Even though this one does have one on the end, it doesn't work. I think. Getting used to. So I'm just going to move around up here. Chances of it being a lower setting. So this is starting to burn me because this glass is much thinner and less insulated. This is soda lime glass. It breaks much easier and it heats up. And I don't know if that's allowing more UV through, if that's why it's heating up or not. But I'm going to go up. So I did not find the sweet spot, and I didn't really feel like going. Maybe right there. But that is a very low setting. Okay. So anyway, I have another one over here. Hook this one up. Seems like I found the sweet spot with one of these before, but it's been on a low setting, so I can think of. Okay, here we are with the other vintage unit. Has a little secret compartment. This is an ozone inhaler. Looking for the sweet spot, the sweet spot. I'm just turning this out over here. All the way up. It's going to really burn. That really is overkill for really healing. A lot of people want these for S&M, and they want to hurt each other. So when people are asking me about voltage output, I always wonder why. If you're really healing with this, almost the lower is the better. And I'm not saying that because my wands are weak. They're not. I can't even use my wand on high half the time because it makes sparks, and you saw it in that other video, in the dark. Even when you don't draw it back. I dare say that's the sweet spot just because it's on so low, it's just trickling out. But if I was going to do therapy on my knee with this right now, that's about where I would put it. That's all you need. So don't burn yourself, don't hurt yourself. Don't use these if you have alcohol in your system. Because look what Edgar Casey says about it. Look it up. Don't just listen to me. And think about it. If it's changing the gas to another state of matter, plasma, could it change? If you have a large amount of alcohol in your system, could it change that to a gas and cause even the tiniest air embolism? I won't even work on someone else when I have had alcohol within 24 hours. So. Anyway, see as I move it around, you can hear that it is changing its frequency based on the information input it's getting back from my body. And then when I remove it from my knee, the plasma sound stops. And all you hear is the coil, which is getting weak because that happens on these old ones, and it will melt the beeswax in there, so I'm going to turn it off. And you got to unplug these, or you'll burn up your coil. And if you're lucky, you can find some that can work on them. And it's pretty easy to change out some of the wires. I like having both. There are tubes you'll never find, like this ozone inhaler. You know, if I ever get pneumonia, I will be sucking in ozone into my lungs. And this one is super rare. I use it all the time to detox my pineal. It's almost irreplaceable. Double eye electrode. So I do use it for that, because it's the only way I can get it up in there. And I think it's good to try both and have both available if you can. And you can buy old ones and fix them up pretty easily. So happy wanding.